Okay, here we are, back with our rock. Well, our styrofoam blocks, covered in Mod Podge gravel and rock. So what we're gonna do is we got our Octopus, well, the oven preheating to put our Octopus in, to bake it solid. In the meantime, we're gonna tidy up this a little bit, put some things away. Okay, so we're gonna take black matte acrylic paint. The brand doesn't matter, but that's cheap. And we'll take a healthy sized brush here, and we're gonna start painting this bad boy. So, first thing we wanna do, put some parchment paper down, keep the mess contained, and then let's just dive in here. Maybe, if I can get the lid off. Grab my X-Acto blade here. That away before I hurt myself. Alright. Well, that didn't come off very nicely at all. And I'm gonna grab a nitrile glove, just because I'm gonna be manhandling this thing, and it's easier than washing and scrubbing the paint off my hands. So, put this on. Okay, so let's take some paint. It's an awfully big container. Ooh, the lolly. That's a lot of paint. Oops. I'm gonna have to shrink this down into something else. I don't want to waste. I'll just quickly tidy that up. Put the lid back on so I don't spill. And then we're going to take just some distilled water, clean distilled water. Put it next. Alright. Maybe I'll take off out from under the tray so it's flatter. And then that way I can put this and not spill. So I'm just going to get my brush tips wet and dry them off. Let's get into that paint. Because it's a base coat, we can just get her on there. Trying to get it in all those little crevices. I'm going to leave some of these purpley pink colored rocks visible because I'm hoping it'll help make it look like coral underneath the water. But I want to get at least the under parts of all of these rock. so that when we put on our highlights, they'll really pop through. So again, I'm just going to look for all those underspots. And I'm just going to go along all the low and the sides. But if you give me a second, I just got a beep for put my clay in the oven. Okay, so we got that in the oven. Now we're just going to continue on painting any darker areas. So we're just trying to make sure that we get at least all these deep form crevices. I'm not really painting as much as I'm pushing the brush down, pushing it into those holes. And just taking the corner of the brush and pushing it into the holes. That's the parts we really want dark. All those cracks and crevices. So see right in there how light that is. We need to get the corner of our brush, get it in there. Same with under here. Try and get it in there. Again, I'm just learning. I'm not an artist. Just self-teaching. I like to do projects. I like to tinker around. Oh, look how bright pink that is. So again, we're just pushing the brush in. I find that's the best way to get in all these little divots. Make sure we get under here a bit. And again, we're not too worried about the bottom because I'm going to put a piece of felt on the bottom. So you won't even see any of this, but we want to make sure we get the bottom side of the piece itself, the visual stuff. So if we overlap a little bit down in here, we should be guaranteed that anything visual has gotten coated. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull this out, thinning out my brush a bit. And I guess we might as well go in here. Okay. So there's the base to our octopus. See why I wore the gloves? So what I'm going to do now is I have 25 more minutes left before the clay is done baking, and that should give time for this base layer to dry. And then what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll hit this with some ocean colored highlights, try and keep it deep and dark, maybe some blues, some greens, and we'll add some highlights, and then it should be ready for us to start making coral and plant life and putting a base on the actual octopus itself. So I guess for now I'm kind of stalled out for a bit, so I will upload what I've got completed now, and hopefully by the time all that's done I'll be able to record some next steps on the project. If not, we will get to it first thing tomorrow. So thanks for watching and have a great one.